Most of the time, I'll watch YouTube, listening to music, and yeah, these kind of things. I'll watch movies as well. Much. Yes, ma'am. That's it.
Okay. In Java, how you rate yourself in Java?
7.
Okay. What are the technologies you're familiar with Java?
Uh, we are actually using Spring Boot framework with Java.
Okay. Okay. We'll start with code Java. What is marker interface?
What, ma'am? Hello.
What is marker interface?
Marker interface.
Hmm.
It's have only method declaration, but not any body.
Okay.
I
Okay.
just heard of it, but I don't know much about it. Just I heard of it only.
Okay. Okay. If we don't have any body, then why we are using that?
Not sure, ma'am. Actually, we haven't used that yet. So I've also just known about this 2 days ago, I guess, in an MCQ.
Okay. Okay. You are having 2 years of experience. What is your experience?
1 year and 6 months. I joined last year January,
Okay.
and I mapped to the project last year June.
Hmm.
So it was near 1 month completed.
Okay. Have you worked with collections?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the collections? Do you know?
List, array list, map, hash map, set, hash set, and hash table.
Okay. What is list and map? How will you
Yeah,
differentiate?
list is nothing but it's actually very similar to array, but array can able to store simpler data types, but in list we can store multiple data types as well. And hash map is actually a collection of key value pairs.
Mm. Okay. Um, do you know array list and linked list, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the difference between array list and linked list?
Linked list having data and address part as well, and array list only has the data part. They haven't have a address part.
Okay. How will you iterate an array list?
Using an iterator, we can iterate. Yeah,
Okay.
we can iterate using an iterator, and we can use a for loop extra.
Okay. Have you used final, finally, those things?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Final is actually a keyword to define parameters or methods, and finally is a block of statements which will get executed after a try catch blocks are ready. We can use the finally block.
Okay. How will you handle the exceptions?
Using try catches, we can handle.
Okay. If I'm using a try block without catch block, whether it is work?
No, ma'am. I can when I'm developing those also, na, like if I don't provide the catch block for a try, it will show error.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. If I use catch block without try, it will work or?
Uh, no, ma'am. I guess not because we haven't tried that yet. But I guess it won't work because there must be some the try and catch will work both. Like they are interlinked. We can't use single ones.
Okay. Do you know thread? Thread.
Yes, that yeah,
How?
piece of time, a line of code, anything. Yeah.
Yeah. How will you create a thread?
Uh, there are actually for creating that there's a start method and start method there, but not sure. But I just know the theory part about this multi-threading. There's a start method to create a thread, and wait or sleep methods to stop or hold the process, and stop to terminate the thread.
Okay. Which version of Java do you work with?
8 Java 8, and we are actually using Oracle JDK 1.8 version.
Okay. Um, what are the new features in Java 8?
Uh, I'm not sure, ma'am. Uh,
Okay. You said you are working with Spring Boot, right?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. How will you set up the Spring Boot application in your IDE?
There will be annotation Spring Boot application. We will provide that to the main class where the main method is defined, and we can provide the Spring Boot application annotation there, and yeah, we can define this application there.
What are the annotations do you know from Spring Boot?
Yeah, auto add and qualifier and request mapping. Actually, I don't think that's it. Yeah, service annotation, REST controller, cross origin, SLF4J,
Okay.
and we use JUnit mockit as well. So for that we use mock, inject mocks, and mock B. These kind of annotations.
What mock will do? What mock?
Uh, Actually, mock will don't execute the methods which we have defined in the mock. In that place, if we return anything instead of directly executing the block of lines, if we define anything that this block of lines should be returning something, then it will return those values.
Okay. In Spring Boot, you have address controller and add controller, right?
At the rate controller, yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, yes.
Yeah, at the rate rest controller, yeah.
Okay. Can we use at controller instead of the place which we are using address controller?
Yes, ma'am. We can use at the rate rest controller, and at the rate controller, actually we haven't used that. We always use at the rate rest controller.
Okay. Okay. In address controller, you have request mapping, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What is at request mapping and why we are using that?
Yeah, a request mapping can be used to define the URL for the REST call we have created and API we have created, and in that we can provide the method name and method type as well, if it is a get method or post method, and in the value field we can provide the URL value, API endpoint, and we can provide the consumes type if it is taking a JSON type or anything, and we can mention the producers type also if it is returning any JSON response or not.
Okay. Have you used any session controller, session management?
No, we are actually creating microservices, so we are not creating any session related things.
Okay. What is microservices and how you are using that?
Yeah, microservices can be used to create a particular branch of code into a separate service, and we can use that like commonly used properties, commonly used services. We can create into a particular service, and we can use wherever that is required in other services with the using REST calls, REST template.
Okay. Have you used any JPA and Hypernet, those things?
Yeah, ma'am. We use JPA, but I don't know anything about Hibernate. Sorry, Hibernate.
Okay. How will you configure JPA in your Spring Boot?
Enable. Sorry, there's an annotation actually. Enable auto configuration. Yeah, enable auto configuration something. I'm not sure. Yeah, enable auto configuration. We'll define that in the configuration.
Okay. In Spring
And
Boot,
there will be another annotation scan base packages. At the scan base packages. So that will be used to scan the beans we have created as well.
okay. Yeah, in Spring Boot, auto configuration is available, right? If you want to disable that auto configuration, what will you do?
Not sure, but I think there will be an annotation like at the disable auto configuration. If that is available, we can use. Not sure, man. I'm just assuming that.
If you want to change the port number of
Yes.
application, how will you do that?
We can change it in resources. Inside resources, there will be application properties, and inside application properties, we can change the server port number. We can mention something like server.port is equals to the desired number we can provide there.
Okay, if you want to call that port number value in your controller method, how will you do that?
In controller or anywhere.
Anywhere.
Anywhere means we can use at the rate value keyword, at the rate value annotation, sorry, at the rate value annotation, and we can define the server dot port inside that, and we can map it, we can link with the string parameter, any string, and we can use that. Like for example, at the rate value and curly brace inside double quotes, we can provide at server dot port, and under that line we can mention something like private string server port number, and if we print the server port number, it will show us the what was the port number that we are actually using.
Okay. Have you worked with any JSON response?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How will you read a JSON response? Can you tell me the flow?
Reading a JSON response. Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get you properly.
Okay. If you are hitting a REST controller, in that you will hit an URL, right? In that
Yes, ma'am.
URL, for example, you are using a get mapping. Okay.
Yeah.
In that you will get some payload for that URL. That payload is JSON. Consider that as a JSON. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, you want to read those JSON payload in your program. With that, you have to do some operations. So, for that purpose, you want to read those things in your program. How will you map that?
Payload means actually when we see the developer options, na ma'am, in the payload we can see the request body which we have passed to the API.
Yes, that request body.
And request body. We can provide that using at the rate request body annotation, which can be defined in the REST controllers, and but I didn't understand properly that you're saying that how can we use the payload in other services, right?
Yeah, I want to read those payload. For example, in that request body, you are
Yes,
having array, some arrays, right? For example, the ID is repeated two or more times.
Okay. Okay.
I want to read those array list. How will you? For example, the ID is repeated in a list of body. In that body, it is defined as a list. I want to read those things in my program.
Okay. You can take that from controllers. Like we provide request body at the controller, and we will pass that to the service, na ma'am, and we can read from there.
Okay. For reading, are you using any iteration process, or I'm asking, are you using any Jackson response like that, or in so many ways we can read, right? We can use a Jackson response and a JSON response.
Yes, ma'am. Json Jackson. It's another annotation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
And
Otherwise, you can call your own for loops to read that. That is I'm asking. How will you call it?
actually, ma'am, we actually define setter getter annotations only. Actually, our project is restricted with Json Jackson. They have mentioned to reduce the number of codes, so that's why they told to use only setter getters and setter getters annotations from Lombok. And if we want any payload, ma'am, then we will check the developer options, and if we want to iterate any payload, ma'am, then we will do it in a controller only. Like if we want to check what is the request coming there, passing there, and if any operations needs to be performed on the list which we are passing in a payload, then we will do mostly in the controller.
Okay, have you used any schedule process in Spring?
No idea, ma'am, about that.
Okay. Have you used any log J for?
No, ma'am. Log4j is also restricted in our project. Only SLF4j is allowed.
Okay.
Not even XSLF4j is also allowed. Only SLF4j.
Okay. Okay. What database are you using, Nitin?
We are using SQL.
Okay. Have you write any procedures or codes in?
Yes, ma'am. We use store procedures to get the data from the database.
Okay.
Actually, the project has then provided us the access to the database. Just they have provided only the store procedures only. If we want to access the database, now we can access through only store procedures. We don't have a direct access.
Okay. What is string and string buffer?
String is actually a collection of characters, and string buffer is actually object, and we can it's actually a string, but string buffer is an object type. It's a synchronized one.
Okay. What is synchronization?
Synchronization means executing line by line.
Okay. If I want to make a class synchronized, what can I do?
The first thing, we have to remove the unsynchronized calls like string builders or anything, and asynchronous calls. These kind of asynchronous calls we have to remove, but synchronization. No, I'm not sure.
Okay, okay.
Even if we make any class as synchronous, then it will return some errors. Like if there is any asynchronous method, then it won't return the proper response sometimes.
Okay, have you used any template engines in your application? Or how will you
Templates.
okay, how will you
Hello.
handle HTML part in your application? Have you used any template engines like that or?
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay, I'm done with my interview. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.